All right, guys, in this video, we're going to cruise through the Photo 1-2 syllabus. I will try to go through this as fast as possible. And don't worry, we're not going to read the whole thing. I know it's a lot of text. If you do want to read the whole thing, or if your parents would like to read the whole thing, there will be a link in the assignment to download this. And you guys can read it together. I'm sure it'll be super fun. So let's just talk about a few things. This is a occupational credit Photo 1-2, which means you do get your career credit for taking this class. It's part of what's called the CTE program, which stands for Career and Technical Education. Photo 1-2 is the first of a 3-year. That's right, you can take photography for 3 years at Southridge. And I suggest that you do if you love photography. I love the program. Photo 3-4 is actually one of my favorite classes to teach. We do some of the coolest stuff in that class, in my opinion. You're going to be taking photos with digital cameras. We're going to be printing photos. We're going to learn how to edit photos. We're going to do a lot of really fun things in this class that I hope you guys will enjoy. Once we do go back to school, you will be able to check out cameras overnight and take them home and use actual professional, what's called digital SLR cameras. So that'll be awesome if that day ever comes. Normally, when we're in school, everything you need to do this class is supplied for you. With it being at home and me not having enough cameras for everybody to have their own, we're going to kind of modify this. For now, you're just going to be taking pictures with your cell phone if you have one. If you have a nicer camera and you'd like to use that, you are certainly more than welcome to. And if you don't have any kind of camera at all, including a cell phone, let me know and I can probably hook something up for you. Here's everything we're going to cover. We'll probably do this in different order than we normally would because we are not going to have access to cameras. We won't be able to cover some of the technical stuff until we do meet back together in school. So take everything here with a grain of salt. Here's the grading scale. It's normal. Here's the late work policy. You probably want to know that. You can turn in late work in Photo 1-2 up until the final assessment for that unit. So, for example, if we're learning about shutter speeds, we're going to do about 5 or 6 shutter speed assignments. And once we're done with that unit, I will no longer accept any shutter speed assignments. Just know that if it is late, there is an automatic 25% reduction in your points. So if you would have gotten 100, you now can only get a 75. So turn your work in on time so you don't have to worry about that. Here's a breakdown of the grading scale. Basically, to get an A on a photography assignment, this is what you have to do. And to get an F, here's what you have to do. Let me talk about this for just 1 second. There's really 2 kinds of assignments in this class. One is a technical assignment, meaning I just want you to do something technical with the camera. That might be take a photo at 10 different shutter speeds. If you do that, I don't really care what your photo's of. If you do it and you did all 10 shutter speeds and you did it right, you get an A. But we also have creative assignments. And a creative assignment might be something like taking a photo of a tree. And if all you do is walk outside, you're like, oh, there's a tree. And you take a picture of it, you come back and say, Johnson, I'm done. I took a picture of a tree. You might only get a C or maybe even a D on that assignment because I do expect you to push yourselves creatively. And now if you're saying to yourself, well, I'm not a creative person, don't worry. We're going to talk about how to be creative and how to go through a creative process because I'm actually not a super creative person either. And I have to kind of work through this stuff, and it's not something I'm naturally creative like some people are. So if you're not either, don't worry. You're not going to be penalized for not being creative. You're going to be penalized for not trying to be creative is what's going to happen there. Let's talk about these right here. This is more for when we come back in school, but I really, really, really have to be able to trust you if you're going to be in my class because there's going to be a lot of times where we're going to go out and take photos on campus. And I may or may not be able to be with all of you while we're doing that. And if I don't trust you, I'm not going to let you go take photos. It's a pretty simple process. Or you are going to get to go take photos, but you're just going to have to walk around with me as I'm walking around keeping an eye on everybody. So you need to be on your best behavior when you're in photography class because once you lose my trust, it's really hard to get it back. You are going to be using computers, and I am going to teach you how to do things in Photoshop. I do not give you permission to do anything evil with your new Photoshop power, so don't do it. Safety procedures and precautions must be followed at all times. You're going to have to take a safety test, which is super easy. You'll pass it. Don't worry. Just know that if you do submit a photo of anything unsafe, and that gets to be determined by me, you do get an automatic 0 on that assignment. I will not grade photos of unsafe acts. An example of that would be if you asked your model to jump off of, I don't know, like the top of your house into your swimming pool and you got photos of it. Don't turn that in. You can take those kind of photos if you want, but don't turn them in because I'm not going to grade them. I'm going to give you a 0. You are expected to demonstrate ongoing competent use of the equipment. What that means is if 6 months into the class, if you still don't know how to put a memory card into the camera, I'm probably not going to let you use a camera anymore because you're probably going to break it. So you need to stay on top of how to use the equipment and how to take good care of everything. Attendance is super important. Once we do start meeting back in school, I do follow the 13 absences equals no credit rule at Southridge. So you got to be there. You got to be there. Posing for each other is super important. I understand that sometimes we have bad hair days and we don't look our best. I don't care. If somebody modeled for you, you model for somebody else. Cheating. Let's talk about this. Basically, all you need to know is that if you turn in a photo for an assignment that you did not take, you will receive an automatic 0. So if you download a photo off the internet and turn that in, or if you're like, well, crap, I didn't get to take any photos, but my buddy Jeff did, I'll just turn in one of his. That's actually surprisingly easy for me to tell if you do that. So don't do it. Also, if you're in the photograph, I know you didn't take the photograph. So there's a real simple thing you can do to make sure you don't cheat without me being able to tell. Real easy. Clean up after yourself. If you are using one of my cameras and something goes wrong with it, please let me know. Although if you do intentionally break a camera, you will have to pay for it. That's actually only happened one time, and I've also had a kid lose a camera one time. He left it on the bus, and it never got returned. So if you intentionally break it or lose it, you will be paying for a replacement. Also, if you steal anything and I find out, I will report that to Officer Valdez. Stealing stuff from my classroom is a criminal offense and not a school punishment issue, but a legal law enforcement issue. That's how I treat it. So don't take my stuff. Be careful with the cameras. Be careful with the computers. Don't mess with stuff you're not supposed to be messing with. And you are just expected to be an overall awesome person when you're in my class. I will treat you as if you are an awesome person and somebody who is a good person and kind and considerate and worthy of my trust until you give me a reason not to. And that's basically it, you guys. That's the syllabus. Again, if you want to download and read this whole thing, you are welcome to do so. Normally, I would have you print this off and sign it with your parents, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. You'll find how to submit this on Schoology. So go back and read the assignment and do what it says.